Breaking down Arizona Wildcats football, the Cats fall in Eugene 41-19 to the Oregon Ducks. Now 16 straight losses overall, but the game was a little bit closer than that final score indicated. I'm David Kelly, joined as always by Glenn Howell, U of A football class of 1985. And Glenn, it was a 24-19 game. In that fourth quarter, the Wildcats had the ball with a chance to go down and tie midway through the fourth. I don't think there was anybody that thought that the Wildcats would be in that situation against the third-ranked team in the country.
No, there wasn't a lot of people, and that might have been including me, because I don't know. They just came from the bottom. I thought we hit bottom at Northern Arizona, and we went and played one of the top teams in the country, and we did very, very, very good. I think we controlled the line of scrimmage, and on the offensive side and the defensive side, and I'm going to take the offensive lineman and defensive lineman off the milk carton, because I was looking for them all year long. Where are they at? And here they are. They show up against the number 3 team in the country, and I believe they did an excellent job of controlling that line of scrimmage.
Well, now easy on the defensive lineman. I think maybe the linebackers have been more on the milk carton than the defensive line, but we'll get to the defensive side of the ball later. I want to focus first on the offensive side and the quarterback, Jordan Mccloud, making his first start of the season. And Glenn, one of the things that we have harped on is this team had to find a way to get better on third down and move the chains and create offense. And I'm gonna show you a stat here. Through the first 3 games, the Wildcats on conversion downs, and that's third and fourth down, they were 12 of 51 for 24% converting third and fourth downs through the first 3 games. In this game Saturday night, they were 11 of 19, 58% conversion rate on third and fourth down. If this is the kid in Jordan Mccloud that can keep those chains moving and give you an opportunity offensively to go down and get points, then Jordan Mccloud obviously has stated with his play that he should be the quarterback of this football team moving forward.
Yeah, and what they really actually did is they won on first down. We talked about that in pregame, is that they won on first down. They were getting 3- and 4-yard chunks, 5-yard chunks, 6-yard chunks, and they were having a good situation on second and third down in order to convert. And also the linemen they just got like they were just getting fed, and they were at a all you can eat. And they were just feeling good about themselves, and they were kept on giving them the ball. And we ran the ball 51 times, which is excellent. I like that. I like that stat. And we controlled the line of scrimmage, and we controlled the game. The time of possession, all those things were included, which made us keep this game close. But at the end, we made some mistakes, and you just can't win with five interceptions.
Yeah, Glenn, what did you see with the blocking down front?
I saw with the blocking was that they were just more aggressive. I thought they were more aggressive. There were very limited missed assignments. It didn't look like the guys were getting missed totally, that they weren't seeing. And I think Oregon was just sitting there waiting and saying, you know what, our guys are better than your guys. We're not going to stunt all over the place. And they were sitting there, and they were sitting ducks, and we went out and killed some ducks.
Indeed, and I think, you know, I'm gonna punch back on Jedd Fisch here a little bit. I mean, we talk about scripting the first part of the game, and I'll never understand why, if you go into a game where you want to run the football, you're going to come out and throw on the first play of the game. And I thought, you know, that decision by Jedd to throw on the first play of the game put them in a 2-score hole right off the bat. They should have been running right from the get-go. Why not just come out and start running right from the get-go versus trying to throw on the first play of the game?
Well, I tell you, if I would have looked at some statistics about Oregon was giving up 115 yards a game on the ground. Okay, so I would think that, you know what, let's try to run right at them. Let's try to do it like everybody else has done. And I guess that decision wasn't made. It was trying to surprise them and maybe get a big play on the first play, and it just didn't work out.
No, and you mentioned the 5 interceptions. I mean, that's unforgivable in any ball game. You just cannot make those types of mistakes, especially in the red zone. And it's interesting because, again, you know, and that was not something that Jordan Mccloud had really done in the 2 years that he has played college football. He'd never been a guy that, I think you look up his numbers, had never thrown more than 2 interceptions in one ball game. You think that might have been a situation where he was just trying to do too much?
Yeah, I just think that they didn't put him in a good situation. You get a long drive and you're going all the way to the 20. Stay with the things that were keeping you going. That whole drive was running the ball. I thought we had a chance to really hurt their feelings. I mean, really put a hurting on them by going in and just running it down their throat and just doing a whole drive of run. But we didn't really. Just didn't think that we needed to pass the ball on that. And you know, I'm being a Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning offensive coordinator. But that's what I'm paid to do, right, Dave?
Yeah, exactly. And that boot action that they used with Mccloud allowed him, Glenn, to really get outside the pocket. We saw him get the running backs involved in the pass game. Of course, there was the touchdown pass to a tight end finally. I mean, we heard all spring long and all summer long that the tight end was going to be a part of this offense. We hadn't really seen it, and we didn't see it a lot in this game, but we did see them have an opportunity to get Woma involved, and he got a touchdown out of it.
Yeah, I like the way they had him rolling out to see the field. He was turning his shoulders and making good throws. I love the thing that they're going to the tight end. We got to get to the tight end to the middle of the field, though. I think that's where we need to really try to put some pressure on those safeties and do that. So maybe that will be in the next couple of games. I think that will pan out, because we do have a bye week, and I hope they come up with some better plans and consolidate the offense so there's not as much thought process in making those plays.
All right, and when you talk about the bye week coming up, that's a chance to really kind of reset, work on some fundamentals. And in terms of the defensive side of the ball, Glenn, teams are going to continue to attack Arizona's safeties. It's the weak spot on this defense, the middle of the field, the back end middle, and we cannot continue to have Gunnar Maldonado missing tackles in the middle of the field. You have got to be able to get guys down. That first touchdown went 63 yards. That could have been a 20-yard play if you get the receiver, I believe it was Jalen Redd, down in the middle of the field.
Yeah, if you're going for the big hit, make the big hit. And make sure that guy goes down. That's the big thing, is hit and wrap them up. That's a big important thing that we have not done. We got to get more discipline on that. And that's just a matter of making those decisions when you're on the field and saying, hey, I got to get this guy down, and make sure that you get him down. And that's important because we are giving up too many big plays on those.
Yeah, and I know you took the defensive line off the milk carton earlier in the show here today, and I kind of pushed back on that because I think the defensive line has played relatively well at most of the positions this season. My issue, though, is with the linebackers. They're just not making enough plays in this defense, and I talked about it last week. I think there's some tendencies in Don Brown's scheme where you leave one, you kind of try to attack the two outside guys from the edge. You leave the one guy in the middle, he gets hatted on, and you're vulnerable in the middle of that defense is in that realm. I thought that Kenny Hebert had a good game up until the fourth quarter, where he forgot how to line up on side, but he was making some plays there in the backfield. We need to see more from him. We need to see a little bit more from Trayshawn, who's probably been the most consistent. Anthony's got to step up. We have not seen nearly enough plays defensively from Anthony Pandy. He got picked again on a crossing pattern, which was reminiscent of what happened last year in that game against Washington in coverage. That's how teams are going to beat you. They're going to try to move those linebackers, create mismatches in the passing game with those linebackers and those safeties, and Arizona has got to be ready for that through the rest of the 8-game Pac-12 schedule.
Yeah, and I think we got to be more aware of the situation, seeing the formations and seeing what the possibilities, and that's got to go through your mind really quick, really fast on how we see a formation. Well, hey, there could be a pick situation here. You have a trips left, trips right. You may have somebody trying to pick you, and then someone's going across. Be aware of that, and we got to make those decisions really fast. I thought that the DBs, I think the corners did a great job. I looked at the stats and I was like, wow. Oregon had 8 guys that were catching the ball. I think it was 7 or 8 guys catching the ball. Only one guy had 3 catches. That was Johnny Johnson III. And then the rest all had 1 catch. We held Oregon to 10 catches the whole game. That's a great job by our DBs. I think they did a great job against it. And then we were playing man-to-man most of the time, which was even made it even better. It makes me give more confidence for our guys.
Yeah, some guys getting their hands on balls. You had Christian Young knock away a couple balls, but unfortunately then he got beat. So he had kind of an up and down game. I thought he was good early, but then he got beat on that late touchdown. You had Jaden Young getting his hands on some balls. But again, another instance where that's a guy who's got to be able to make tackles in the middle of the field. He was right there in the middle of that first touchdown with Gunnar Maldonado. So, yeah, and you even, again, we had a safety in the ball game. You had offensive. I love when I see defensive linemen getting their hands on passes. We haven't seen maybe nearly enough of that to help this defense as well. Seeing some of those guys when they anticipate that pass, get your hands up and see if you can bat a ball up into the air. Maybe J.B. Brown catches that ball next time and you go for a touchdown.
Yeah, it's just that we're getting close. We're moving forward. I think we're getting a lot of confidence out of this game, even though we got beat by a couple touchdowns. I think that we're going to get some confidence and move, this week, after this next week, get some work in the weight room, get some rest, get healed up, and be ready for that UCLA game.
What did you think of the Gadget kick return? I said to myself, can we just please play football and stop messing around here? Yeah,
I mean, that was, man, if it would have been done right, it would have been great.
I mean, you're in a one-score game, though, Glenn. You're in a one-score game, and you really sucked the momentum away from your offense, putting them back on the 5-yard line, trying to be cute.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but if it would have worked, he would have been the greatest coach ever. So those are the kind of things, those are the chances you got to take. Sometimes you got to roll the dice.
Yeah, ask Urban Meyer about rolling the dice with a flea flicker that went awry in a game where his team was up 2 points. I mean, there's just times where I just don't believe. Just play football and quit trying to do things that are out of the ordinary to gain an advantage. To me, that those things are going to go awry more often than they're going to work in your favor.
Exactly, and especially with a team like we have, I don't think that those odds are not good for us.
All right, special teams, the punter, Kyle Ostendorp, only had to kick twice in this game, so that was a positive. And unfortunately, Lucas Haversack, 1 for 2 on field goals, had a make but had another miss. And so, I mean, again, that inconsistency continues there, so I'm sure that he'll continue to battle with Tyler Loop as well, and we'll see kind of where that comes out on the other side when UCLA comes to town in a couple of weekends. Okay, I want to touch on a couple things here as well. Former Arizona Wildcat quarterback Rhett Rodriguez in the hospital after a lung injury in Saturday's game, Louisiana Monroe. He's the starting quarterback down there. Of course, his dad, Rich Rodriguez, coached here and is now the offensive coordinator down there, so we want to send our best wishes out to Rhett for a speedy recovery as well down there. And also we want to mention Derek Barkham passed away this past week, Arizona Wildcat from the Mike Stoops days, 2007-2008. Came in here as a really speedy junior college receiver out of California. Played mostly special teams in his one primary season here in 2008. Played in 13 games overall, so we want to send our condolences out to Derek and his family anytime we lose a member of the Wildcat family. That is always a sad thing as well. All right, Glenn, we've got few days until UCLA. Actually, we got about 13 days before we get to UCLA. What is the one thing you want to see, or you hope that the Wildcats work on during that period to take into the restart here coming up?
I'm going to tell you, when we go up against UCLA, we're going to really have to be really on our P's and Q's on that game, because UCLA's got a lot of athletes all over the place, especially on their defensive side of the ball. I think we need to go ahead and try to run at them also, run the ball, I think we had a low confidence against Oregon, so let's start doing that against UCLA. On the defensive side of the ball, we just got to make sure we contain DTR.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
And just really contain him and make sure we keep him in a box, not let him run all over the place, because that's where he does his best work.
It'll be interesting. They were able to contain him, obviously, when the Bruins were here in 2019, but he is 2 years older and playing very well as they got a big win at Stanford over the weekend. All right, we will take a break next week because of the bye. No Wildcat breakdown, and then we'll reconvene with you on Saturday, October the 9th. That'll be for the UCLA game, Arizona football today, and we'll preview the Bruins for you coming up then.